color. Vibes.
Hiya! Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my wonderful people filled with greatness. Your girl's back at it with some more Cafe Enchant. So you know I had to come back at the tail end of chapter 1 into chapter 2 because I have to figure out what the heck is going on with these Minotaurs and why it's going to be a source of torment for me and my dear Ignis. So let's go ahead and get started, y'all. A few days later, although the Minotaur's sudden arrival took me by complete surprise, thanks to Ignis's quick reaction, it was handily incapacitated in no time, which saved us a lot of trouble. We managed to catch everyone up to speed on what had happened, but it was just a mere coincidence after all. Therefore, no one made anything of it. At Enchant, it was business as usual, a vibrant but peaceful day. One day, as I was preparing a batch of drip coffee grounds based on a rare type of Hawaiian Kona beans. Ooh, what's that? It's a variety of coffee bean cultivated in the Kona district on the island of Hawaii. And I got family in Hawaii, but they're not on that Kona island. They're in Honolulu, so that's the big island, I believe. I was only there once, so I don't know all the island names. Among coffee connoisseurs, it is known as being scarce and high in quality. Nice. I like learning that. I stood while listening to some of the bright chatter occurring throughout the cafe. Some of the guests occupying the cafe at this time were the Demon King, the Beast, and Karoro, and Karya with his dots. Karya and Karoro observed as the other two played a heated game of poker. How y'all know how to do that? I figured Messier's gonna win. He just got that poker face. Ignis looked like he's sweating, so he about to lose. It's between number 2 and number 2 and Messier. That's what I'm thinking. Dots from Ignis.
ってことは、はい、また俺の勝ち。次のコーヒーもイグニスのおごりね。
Yep, I figured.
Da! くそ、またかよ。なんで一度も勝てねえんだ。ミシェル、てめえ、なんか適当な力使ってこっちの手札覗いてんじゃねえだろうな。
He don't need his powers. He could just win just because he's Messier.
いやいや、覗くまでもないって。君の顔がそりゃもう分かりやすく手札の中身を教えてくれますから。
Dang, 8 of them things? Jeez Louise. Maybe you should consider raising the white flag. I placed a pot of freshly brewed coffee in front of Messier. It was hard not to burst into laughter at their witty exchange. Judging by how things were panning out, it seemed as though Ignis would be the one to foot the bill for the coffee. Well, I'm pretty sure Messier has an unfair advantage here.
立場的にも心理戦の一つや二つ軽くこなせないと。
Yeah, I bet. Monsieur put his lips to the mug, taking a moment to partake in a victorious smile before claiming his hot caffeinated prize. Ignis, on the other hand, stewed in his resentment, staring angrily back at Monsieur before asking me a question.
ああ、そうや。お前がポーカーとかに参加してるとこ、あんま見たことねえ。
Last time I played poker was in Red Dead 2. I swept the whole table of the crew. That cleaned the board of them. And I gave them a rematch and they lost again. So yeah, it was a few years ago. That's when I played. And I'm a great poker player, y'all. Y'all don't want to get started on me. Meet me at the Red Dead table, y'all. I couldn't help from tensing up at the mention of Ignis's inquiry and Carrero's affirmative cry. Me?
そういえばそうだね。いつも観戦してることの方が多いかも。
この際だし、ちょっとイグニスと対戦してみれば。結構いい勝負になるかもよ。
An even match, you say? More like an uneven match. But let's go.
おい、俺は構わねえぞ。ま、手は抜いてやんねえけど。
Bring it on, wolf boy. I searched for an appropriate response. I wouldn't mind playing, but just don't be too disappointed, okay? Dots from all three men. Monsieur's like, you're hiding something. Kari is he's just nonchalant right there.
3カード。
I got nothing.
2ペア。
No pair. No pair again. Dots from Monsieur and Ignis. Both Monsieur and Ignis gazed at me why can't I say this word? Sympathetically, quietly collecting the scattered cards without a word.
なんていうか。
So he didn't play poker. What the heck was that?
強く生きて。
Karya tapped me lightly on the shoulder. I could have imagined it, but it seemed like Carrero pitied me for my defeat, despite knowing nothing at all about poker. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's a different type of poker they're playing. I know there's different versions of it, so I know the type on Red Dead is a version of Texas Hold'em. I don't know. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I'm still a great poker player, y'all.
あははは。これは駆け引きとかもう関係ないよね。手札の切り方はなかなかだったけど、完全のカードの引きが悪いというか。
お前逆にすげえな。ここまで役が揃わねえやつ初めて見たぞ。
Dang, that sucks. I told you not to be disappointed. Right. I've never been one to opt for games that involve chance. I can play things like board games, but
前からちょっと不運気味だなと思ってたけど。
that's my character, y'all, not me. I'm a very lucky type.
ここまでとは思わなかったぜ。幸の一切ここに極まってる。大丈夫か？外に出るだけで車に光りかけて 詐欺にあったりしてねえだろ。
It's not that bad. Just as I was about to challenge his silly notions, the clock rang, signaling evening. On this day every week, I close up early in order to restock ingredients, or just cause. However, the lives who live in this cafe, along with anyone involved with running it, were largely unaffected. My only real duty was to put away the sign and tidy up the cafe. After those tasks, I had all the free time I wanted until it was time to prepare dinner. What should I do after this? Maybe I'll take a walk to the market for groceries. As I stood there contemplating, Kuroro, although it was unclear to what exactly Kuroro was reacting, he started flapping flippers and tail atop the table. So cute. Huh? But he usually naps or hangs out with Karia. Is something the matter?
今日はたまたまそういう気分なんじゃない？連れてってあげれば。
He probably knows that I'm just a loser. He wants to cheer me up. But thank you, Kuroro.
ぬいぐるみのふりでもさせとけば、不審な目を向けられることもないでしょう。
Okay. If I had to guess, maybe Kuroro wanted to explore places other than Bestia for once. Do you promise to be a good boy, Kuroro? My question was met with energetic glee, but it was impossible to tell whether or not he really understood me.
んじゃ、留守は俺たちが預かるよ。いってらっしゃい、二人とも。
あ？
You two? Out of reflex, I made eye contact with Ignis, at whom Monsieur appeared to give a knowing smile.
おい、なんで自然に俺までカウントしてやがんだ。
Because now you're Kanas in this chapter, so you gotta go along with me. That's just how it goes.
だって万が一コロロがはぐれたら君の鼻ですぐ終えるでしょ。君はコロロを拾った本人なわけだし、保護者責任はきっちり果たさないと。
誰が保護者だ、誰が。
Luckily for Kuroro, he was in the perfect position for a display of affection. In his particular case, a headbutt. He gently struck Ignis's elbow, which was resting on the corner of the table.
だっ！
うわ、痛そう。骨の隙間に角入ったよね。
Contrary to Ignis, who clutched his elbow in agony, Kuroro glanced at Ignis, his eyes sparkling with trust and admiration for Ignis.
こいつはいつまでたっても加減ってやつを覚えねえな。
That's how Kuroro expresses affection. You couldn't stay mad at him even if you wanted to. By the looks of things, it seems like Kuroro wants you to tag along with us. What do you say?
あったよ。わかったから 追撃の構えを取るんじゃねえ。
If Kuroa were human, one might have thought he was locked in a crouching start. After spending the last minute or so rubbing the small fuzzy creature's head, Ignis stood from his seat. Though we had no destination in mind, Ignis, Kuroa, and I set off on our walk. I held the wiggly, crying Kuroa in my arms as we trekked around town. I had a hunch that Kuroa wouldn't be able to handle a large crowd for too long, so Ignis and I made an agreement. It felt more sensible to explore openly, stopping only if something caught my eye. If I liked it, I'd buy it. Simple as that. Then we made our way to the road's edge. The slew of passing automobiles caught Kuroa's notice, to which he responded with an inquisitive cry. Whoa, Kuroa! It's okay to cry now and then, but could you please keep it down?
分かってんのか分かってねえのか。こいつどこまでこっちの言葉を理解してんだろうな。
I wonder the same thing. He is fairly responsive, especially when we're talking, so he must be cognizant. Plus, he quieted down when I asked him. Maybe he possesses some understanding of our thoughts and feelings. Oh yeah, isn't Kuroa capable of learning mimicking human speech? Like a parrot? It's been a while since we've tested him. I wonder what other words he knows besides our names.
他は聞いたことねえな。俺らが知らねえだけで、大体のやつの名前はもう覚えてんじゃねえの。
Indeed. Let's test him a bit. Kuroa wore a curious expression as he curled up in my arms, so asked him to say, oh, y'all know I gotta say right here. Because these choices matter. These choices matter. So why not just go with... I can't do Ignis? What the heck? I guess number 2, because Ignis seems more in tune with 2. So final answer. Come on, Kuroa. Can you say 2? Nope, just that. Oh, okay. Dots though. Could this be Ignis?
悪い。今後はあのあだ名、こいつの前で連呼しねえよう気ぃつけるわ。
But immediately after, Kuroa attempted to say it one time and ended up successfully saying 2. There we go. Heck yeah. We later concluded that Cage Bird was nothing more than an accident. Regardless, seeing Kuroa put forth effort and learning our names earned him a nice belly rub. Guess that confirms that he's warmed up to all the regulars now. Now, if we could get along with Jomi too.
それは無理じゃねえか。あいつが来店するたび、ものすげえ威嚇してやがるし。
True. I wonder what it is about Jomi that Kuroa can't seem to stand. Possibly.
ま、ドローに一匹嫌ってる程度大したことじゃねえだろ。それで問題を起こすようなやつでもねえし。
Ignis was sure to note, however, how headbutting Jomi didn't count as a problem. It was happening again. Ignis picked up on a scent in the air, halting him in his tracks. Ignis, what's the matter?
いや、匂いがなんつうか。どっちだこれ。車のガスの匂いと混ざって分かりづれ。
That's for me. Ignis squinted his eyes, trying hard to make out objects far into the distance, beyond the road. Had he found something, just as Kuroro and I look ahead? Yep, another one. And another one. As soon as I gasped, I was met with a familiar scene where vehicles soared through the sky and dominated by periphery. Okay. Townspeople began to flee for safety. Straight ahead of us, the creature swatted at nearby cars, taking menacing, fearsome steps before food prep. Minotaurs were outnumbered!
あ、またかよ。
They're bipedal. The Minotaurs had us cornered. I mean, sure, they had likely been waiting for us the whole time. The Minotaur's hooves clopped on the pavement as it charged towards us.
てめえはできるだけコロロを連れて離れとけ。
Okay, you sure be okay though, Ignis? You sure you'll sure be? That's a tongue twister almost. You sure be okay though? You sure you'll be okay though, Ignis? There, I'm gonna correct it. Unlike last time, there are more of them than us. You might not be able to do it all on your own.
心配すんな、分かってる。めんどくせえ場所に出てきやがって、あの牛肉ども。とにかく人間の被害さえなきゃ、道路や建物は林道が何とかすんだろ。
While Ignis delegated some of the dirty work to Rendo, the Minotaurs were gaining speed as they charged at him. For better or for worse, it had seemed as though the Minotaurs were blind to anyone but Ignis. Ignis clenched his fist, his first. Some of the typos is kind of hilarious though. But the brain does a weird thing where it just knows it's the right word, so. Ignis clenched his fist, bracing himself for a retaliatory strike against the Minotaurs, but before the Titans could reach Ignis...
騒がしいですね。せっかくのイベントを邪魔しないでいただきたいのですが。
Oh, it's because I chose number 2. Oh, okay. A white shadow emerged from the video game shop. A radiant chain of light materialized, which was used to round up and restrain the beast. Ignis watched it all unfold, letting out a light sigh as he stepped within range of the light. I'm glad I chose that. Ignis had literally sank his opponents into the asphalt in an instant. The chaos had yet to settle, but as far as I could tell, everyone on our side would emerge from this unscathed. Plus, the chains which strangle them belong to because I chose you. Ooh, that chain of light belonged to you. That was your magic?
以前にもお見せしたものです。あの程度の個体であれば動きを封じることは容易かと。
I just love to.
挨拶と説明は後にしろっての。人間の
I had to call him a Poindexter though. I can't stand you. Okay.
ああ、そうでした。また林道に叱られてしまいます。
To scan the area around us for any civilians before tucking away his wings. Oh, two, number two.
二人とも大事ないか。人の多い店内だったのでな。出遅れてしまいすまない。
From out of the very same game shop where two was browsing emerged Canis, as imposing but gentle as ever.
あ、カヌス、てめえもここにいたのか。ああ、我はいるのを付き添いでな。
Canis responded matter-of-factly, unlike two, whose eyes instantly lit up.
今日はこちらのお店でとある乙女ゲームの発売記念抽選会が行われていたのです。
What game was it too? A lottery held at game shops and other shops, or excuse me, a lottery held at game shops and other places to commemorate the release of a game. With good luck, one can win extravagant prizes related to the game. I would love to go to one of those. I've never been to a game release. I think long gone are the days of commemorative game releases. Who knows? I wonder if Death Stranding 2 will have a commemorative one around town. I'm gonna look that up, y'all.
そして見てください。なんとカヌスが引いたくじでポスターが当選したのです。
Excuse me. I had to let out some meows, y'all.
そういうわけなんだ。頭数としての付き添いよな。
I stood beside Ignis, whose jaw looked unhinged from exasperation. I, on the other hand, call Rindo. Okay, I updated Rindo.
なんつうか、お前も手慣れてきたよな。
So it looks like no matter who I chose, at least Canis and number two is going to show up. But I'm just going to go back over it, y'all, and pick Monsieur. Not right now, but on my own time, of course. Not that it's much to be proud of.
いる。ひとまずこのアルムムたちの姿を隠せるか。さすがに人目を集めすぎている。我らの存在はごまかせたとしても、アルムムたちへの対処は難しいだろうからな。
了解しました。一時的ですが光の屈折を利用しましょう。
Two approached the constricted minotaurs, slowly readying the spell he prepared. Then,
おや？
what's going on? After peeking into the minotaurs' faces, Two tilted his head.
イグニス、アルムムとやらはこのような濁った瞳をしている魔術師
Oh,
で
they've
しょ
been
うか。
put under a spell, y'all. See, I'm just wondering what the prologue is meaning, because there's prologue 1 and 2, and then there were certain circumstances that I heard, especially when I first went to Medio, then I got separated, and I feel like that mysterious voice is in play here in all the chapters. So let's see. Dots from me and Ignis. Both Ignis and I peeked into the eyes of one still conscious Minotaur although Ignis seemed nonplussed about it. Then, oh my gosh. Dots, more dots. As expected, the beast resorted to grunts. Its eyes began to bulge from its skull, giving me the impression that they could pop out at any second. Yikes! As Karoro trembled in my arms, I couldn't help but follow suit, letting out a whimper. My intense panic thankfully was mitigated by an incoming call I received. I pressed answer with the intention of distracting myself from that wicked gaze. Hello?
連絡ありがとう。そっちに部下を向かせといてよ。ただちょっとね。こっちも手一杯って感じだから、少しばかり到着が遅れるかも。
Rendo's voice quivered with slight worry. Did something happen at the GPM?
GPM っていうよりは、ベスティア側かな。
Bestia. So yeah, I'm calling it Bestia, Bestia. I'm getting tongue tied. Bestia. Bestia. Something. I don't know why. It's just when I look at it, it just spells Bestia. But I just gotta remember there's an A in there and I'm pronouncing it. So yeah. Ignis reached out his hand toward my phone, meaning he overheard Rendo's remark.
俺が話す。
Sure.
おい、リンド。今のどういう意味だ？俺の地元がどうしたって？
Ignis put the phone to his ear, speaking in an uncharacteristically hushed tone. Rendo, however, seemed unbothered that Ignis had taken the phone to discuss the matter with him himself.
ちょっと彼女と一緒に GPM まで来てくれないかな。大事な話があるんだ。
Dots from Ignis. Dots from me. Let's go on over to the GPM. We left the task are loading in the Minotaurs to the GPM, Canis, and 2. Not to mention Karoro, who seemed tired. Ignis and I made our way to the headquarters of the GPM. Rather than being escorted by Rendo himself, a gang of agents welcomed us in. We entered the elevator, which took us deep into the underground facility. Wow.
やあやあ、ようこそ。GPM もとい、究極の天才たる僕が作り出したホールの前。このフロアに来るのは初めてだろう。さあ、もっともっとじっくり、ねっとりと僕の成果を鑑賞し、褒めたたえてくれたまえ。
Mikado continued to wax poetic about his invention, but I needed no preface of his to be completely captivated by the misshapen space, the wormhole. It sat in the middle of the room. This is the GPM's famous wormhole. I vaguely recalled Rendo describing it to me in the past, but seeing it with my own eyes was something else entirely.
一応気をつけて。特にこれ自体は害はないけど、繋がってる先が先だからね。
Rendo cautioned us with a furrowed brow. To my side, Ignis grew impatient.
おい、こっちはこの変人の自画自賛に付き合うために来たんじゃねえぞ。
I like Ignis's style. He's just saying it like it is, just like my Daryl Sam. I like that. Cut to the chase, why don't you?
さっさと要件を話しやがれ。つってもまあ、大方そこの牛肉どもの話に決まってんだろうけど。
Something caught Ignis's attention. It was in the corner of the room. He stared intently at a line of large cages, the inhabitants of which growled at Ignis. Upon closer inspection, they were... What? So they got a whole Minotaur herd in here, y'all. What the heck? It was a group of Minotaurs. Thick chains restrained them to their cages. Several Minotaurs comprised their ranks, both bipedal and quadrupedal alike, trying to free themselves from imprisonment. Why are there so many Minotaurs here? I mean, they don't seem like the Minotaurs that attacked us earlier, do they?
まあそこにアルムムがたくさんいるのはそのままの理由なんだけどね。そこにいるアルムムはみんなここ数日でホールから落ちてきたやつらで、それを GPM が捕獲したってわけさ。
That's from me.
てめえらがベスティアで捕まえたわけじゃねえのか。
おや失敬な。アルムムに関してはすでに研究済み。それをむやみやたらに捉えたりはしないよ。だけどね。
Mikado raised his arms, waving his white coat in the air as his voice trailed.
帝明、要求された魔獣のデータを各種揃えておいた。
Clutched in his hand was a thick dossier. Someone whom I assumed to be Mikado's assistant exited from the elevator.
おー、ナイスタイミングだよ、ジョシュ君。それをイグニス君に手渡してくれたまえ。それから彼女にも。
That's from Mikado's assistant. The assistant did as instructed, passing the folder to us without a word. Strangely enough, he went off into the corner of the room, observing us silently.
手元の資料を見れば、事の重要さは理解してもらえると思うよ。
I eyed the contents, thrilled by my curiosity as I flipped through the pages. Known Bestian Minotaur locations? One page had a map with several red markings.
おい、まさかこれ、この全部からアルムムが出てきたって言うんじゃねえだろうな。
そのまさかだとも。そう書いてあるだろう。
That's his get back for you call him a nerd. Mikado coolly shrugged shrugged and Rendo picked up where he left off.
幸い、今のところは個体としては弱いやつばかりでね。うちの職員でも対応できたけど、君たちが捕獲したような一回りでかいアルムムが現れたら、さすがに殉職者が出そうだよ。イグニス、君、アルムムたちがどうしてるか調べさせたんだろう。詳しく話を聞けたらと思ってね。
Rendo's request got a tense response from Ignis, who raised his eyebrow.
確かに妙な報告は聞いちゃいるが。
Ignis briefly explained to Rendo what he knew about the case of the vanishing Bestian Minotaurs.
なるほど。時期的にも無関係とは思えないね。
僕としてはもう少し詳しい話を聞きたいところなのだけど。
情報はドローニからだ。 話を聞くってんなら一回俺がベスティアに戻ってあいつを引きずってくるわ。
Just when Mikado nodded in agreement, he's just there.
呼んだっすか？俺ってばナイスタイミングで来ちゃった感じ？
Jomi! Where's Kuroda at? I guess he's like just gone or whatever, but let's see what Jomi's here for. Right, Jomi! It was Jomi sporting a winning smile as he emerged from the wormhole.
なんか勢揃い。店主さんまで。じゃっす。時間的には晩はですか？
Good evening. Jomi came frolicking over to Ignis's side, perhaps sensing that the latter had mentioned him.
これもしかして例のアルムムの件っすか？うわ、俺ってばめっちゃタイミング良くないっすか？アンシャンテがもし閉まってたらと思ってこっち優先で報告しに来たらドンピシャでみんないるとかラッキーっす。
Mikado turned to face Jomi.
イグニス君と同じく僕らも彼にこの一件の調査をお願いしていたのでね。せっかくだ、一緒に聞くとしようじゃないか。
Ignis and Rendo both nodded in turn, instilling a level of confidence in Jomi I had never seen.
おお、なんか俺頼られてる感じ？任せてくださいっす。
Jomi took a moment to organize his thoughts, inhaling deeply before beginning his report.
兄貴に報告した後、俺もアルムムたちがおとなしいのがやっぱどうも気になっちゃって。あの後も結構いろんなとこで聞き込んで行方を調べたんすよね。で、ベスティアの奥も奥、かなりの辺境に向かったっていう証言をつかんで、俺も行ってみたんすよ。そしたら。
Then his demeanor changed. We all scooted in closer, noticing his shift in mood. The air in the room became tense. Knowing he had our undivided attention, Jomi revealed what he saw.
なんもわかんなかったっす。
I can't with this dude. I really can't. But that's how you grab a person's attention, is speaking slowly and letting them lean in so that way they just are hooked on each and every word. Oh, and knock him upside his head. Right. Dots from all four of us. I don't know why it just says Venoni, Iwaki, and Ignis. Mikado's just sitting there like, no dots for me. No. And then it includes his name later. Now that's hilarious. Then Karu, Rendo, and Akira Mikado. That's so funny.
結構苦労したんすけどね。ほんとすっげえ僻地でなんもなくて。いやー、めっちゃ暇だったっす。
More dots from us, from everyone.
あれ、どうしたんすか？ここはよく調べてくれたな。とか、俺が褒められる流れじゃないですか？
Jomi blinked, awaiting a response. More like you're gonna be awaiting a physical response. Right? I already know he's about to hit him, but let's see. Ignis was the first to react as he
ドローミー
はいっす。
死ね。
gave the iron claw. Ignis did all of us a favor by inflicting his judgment upon Jomi.
特に分かったことはないというのが現状のようだ。
くそ、このアホタラに1ミリでも期待した俺がバカだったぜ。
けど事態はそこまで生ぬるい状況じゃない。何かしらの異変があってもおかしくないはず。
Jomi brought himself back to his feet, responding to Rendo's speculation with a point of his own.
変わったことって言ったら、俺がホールに落ちたとか、そんなかっこ悪い話しかないっすね。
は？
いやーだからホールに俺落ちちゃったんすよ。アルムムとはまた別の他の魔獣に追いかけられてる途中にうっかり。
何をどんくさいことして。って待て。
ちょっと待った。ホールに落ちたって。じゃあなんで君ここにいるの？
Renda was quick to pick up where Ignis's thought trailed, interjecting with a look of genuine surprise. It took me a few seconds to understand the meaning behind his trepidation. Oh, that's right. If the wormhole is not set in a fixed, secure location, then whoever travels through it can't control where they land.
ああ、彼がこうしてこの場にいること自体奇跡というかおかしいことだ。それに先ほど君がこのベスティアにつながるホールから出てきた。ますますわけがわからないね。
Jomi was speechless, perhaps from still wrapping his head around the concept. He stood in confusion. Then,
本当だ。あれ？俺めっちゃ普通に人間界に。つうか、アンシャンテのあるあの町にピンポイントで出たから、なんかゲートと感覚間違えてたっつうか。そんで俺、やべえ、もう一回調べなきゃってちょちょいってここまで来て、そんでさっきまで普通にベスティアにいて、で戻ってきたんすけど。
his response was even more confusing. It was unclear if he understood anything. Then something clicked, so I took another glance at the marked map. It dawned on me, these locations looked familiar. In fact, look, the known locations it surrounds and shot. Wow. That's from Ignis. Ignis was aghast as he processed the flood of information confronting him.
ベスティアで行方不明のアルメムが代わりと言わんばかりにあの町にやたら出現してやがる。
That's from me, which must mean, do all of the wormholes in Bestia connect to that town?
じゃあアルムムたちがガンガン湧いて出てくる理由ってもしかしてそれを知ってて兄貴を狙うために。
ありえるな。俺は人間界じゃベスティアほど派手に暴れられねえし、あいつらにとってはこっちのが有利な環境ってのは疑いようがね
It was hard to accept. It was hard to accept at first, but after the amount of violent monitors we encountered went beyond coincidence, it seemed too logical to ignore. The revelation seemed to catch Mikado off guard as he found solace by cuddling a stuffed animal he kept nearby.
困ったね、クーちゃん。これはベスティアのホールを詳しく調べる必要があるかな。
それとアルムムたちの行方というか根城もね、このペースで人間界に来られたら対応にも限界がある。
ところでジョシュ君、君の視点で何か気になることとかない？
皆無と返答しよう。加えて私の業務はお前の人外研究のサポートであり、ホールの分野については管轄外である。
I wonder what made his assistant say that analyzing is behind. He's just like, I'm not gonna figure that out. That's beyond my pay grade. I feel like that every day at my job.
せっかく話を振ったのに議論のしがいがないね。
ま、ここにいる牛どもを適当にしばいて事情を吐かせるのが一番手っ取り早いんだな。
やっばいね。どう頑張っても会話できそうにないっすけど。
Oh my goodness, did it follow Jomi here? Jomi, you leading everybody to us. Golly. Even I could share in Jomi's reluctance to talk to them. Oh, the caged minotaurs, that's right. Okay, I forgot that quickly. The caged minotaurs, much like the minotaur which two had subdued, they all possessed vacant, cloudy eyes. They stared fiercely at Ignis, ready to pounce him at a moment's notice were they not chained.
大方、闘争本能が振り切れて狂っちまったんだろうな。
Combat instincts? What do you mean insane?
なんつうか。ガキの頃に身内から聞いたことがあって。魔獣は激しい戦いで闘争本能を刺激しまくると正気を失って見境なく暴れちまうんだ。
らしいって、兄貴それ。
てめえは黙ってろ。と。
Right.
おお、その件に関しては僕も初耳だな。
Even if that were true, how can so many of them go mad at once?
それもごもっとも。高速から結構出すけど、全然正気に戻る様子も見せないし。僕の見立てでは何かしら外的要因があると踏んでるんだけどね。
Mikado approached the cages and peeked into the eyes of minotaurs without flinching at the monsters who dwarfed him in size.
こんな状態の彼らを返却したところで、またホールからあの町へダイビングするだけだろうし。しばらくはこっちに拘束し、身体データの調査もろもろで彼らが正気を失っている原因を調べてみよう。
君を呼んだのはこの事情を話しておくためなんだ。あの町というかアンシャンテに住んでる張本人だからね。知らせないわけにもいかなくてね。
I nod affirmatively at Rendo. I had to tell everybody at Enchant too. But I wonder what's happening to Bestia and the Minotaurs. That's from Ignis. Ignis was silent.
どうも俺が直接連中の縄張りを訪ねる必要がありそうだな。
His statement puzzled me. Huh? Visit their turf, as in going off to search for them?
ああ、いくら雑魚とはいえ、こう続々来られたらうざってえし。ホールは俺にどうこうできねえが、連中を見つけさえすりゃ、おとなしくさせることはできんだろ。
アンシャンテや人間たちに被害がいってからじゃ遅いっすもんね。兄貴ってばやっぱりお人よ。
I really shouldn't laugh at him being a punching bag, but it's hilarious each and every time, y'all. I can't. Ignis's fist connecting with Jomi's head produced a dull thud, the force of which nearly buried his head into his shoulders. But this was typical of them. Rendo didn't bat an eye at the screaming or the cries of agony and continued.
それじゃあ僕らは僕らでこっちのホールから調査班を派遣するよ。とはいえ危険な事態にはいけないから結局は君頼りになっちゃうだろう
てめえらと手を結ぶのは尺だが、ま、人手があるには越したことねえが。
Ignis scratched his head absent-mindedly before turning to face me.
ってわけだ。明日からしばらく俺はアンシャンテを分ける。
No, I want you to bother me.
ミシェルたちがいるから心配はいらねえだろうが、一応アルムについては警戒しとけ。
Okay, I'll be careful. Soon after, Rendo and I went over our detailed plan. Ignis was to depart for Bestia at dawn. Much to his disliking, Jomi was assigned to join him. You better not have ended. I thought it was going to end. I'm like, that was a super short chapter. But then at the hour of first light, Ignis stood waiting for Jomi to arrive so that he could leave without saying goodbye, but I deliberately held him back. The reason being, you know you want to eat. Yes, I asked him to stick around for a bit longer just so I could feed the hungry wolf. I handle a frying pan simmering Ignis's meal as he posed his incredulous question beside me in the kitchen. You're the one who's going to be sorry if you end up passing out from starvation. Am I wrong? It wouldn't be very funny if some other beast were to kill you while you were knocked out. See, his mission would last at least a few days. So I arranged a menu, one designed to provide him stamina and that would be tasty even when cold. Nope. His tone was petulant, but I detected a hint of curiosity as to what I cooked him. He didn't seem to rush me. Just a couple more minutes, but promise me you won't wolf but promise me you won't wolf it down the moment I hand it over. I didn't believe him. I had to watch him, making sure he wouldn't open up the lunchbox until after he entered the gate. But still, it warmed my heart to know that my cooking could still excite him, even in these circumstances. That's from Ignis. As I added touches of seasoning, I snuck a look at Ignis. He watched my hands intensely with curiosity and interest. Each time I picked up a utensil or added an ingredient, his eyes followed. The kind of look a puppy would give. Aww. Even though I'm a cat, so I don't like wolves. But I guess I should have chose a wolf avatar, but I can't. I love my feline species. Ignis, does cooking interest you?
まあそこそこな。俺は雑な飯しか作れねえし。きっちり手順踏んで作った方がうまいってのは分かってんだけどな。
So, now that you've admitted it, do you want to try cooking with me?
Huh?
Oh, there's no dots or anything. It's just a blank screen. What the heck? What is going on? No! I feel like I'm missing out on material, y'all. Is this a glitch in my game or did this happen to y'all too? Let me know. Oh my gosh. A savory aroma rises from the pan as the dish sizzles in high heat. As he grabs the pan, you're swinging it too hard. You're going to spill it all.
分かってるってな。
Eee! He's trying his best. If I hadn't guided him, it was likely Ignis would destroy the pan altogether. I started to coach him at every step, explaining each individual technique. The fire's too high. We're not grilling steak here.
おう。
Okay, add salt and pepper to taste. Maybe a bit more soy sauce. Drop a teaspoon's worth in a circular motion. Be careful not to add too much.
待てって指示が早すぎんだよ。もっとゆっくり教えろ。
That's how it is when I'm directing my partner to cook. I'm like, do it this way. Use that pan. Don't have it up too high. And he responds the same way. It's cute. If I slow down, it'll overcook.
なんだこりゃ。喧嘩よりよっぽどこっちのがむずいじゃねえか。
Although at first he struggled, soon Ignis began to loosen up. Yay!
何が何でも絶対うまくなるよう仕上げてやる。
Hold on, y'all know I gotta get my little pick right here. Eee.
よし。次は何をすりゃいいんだ。どんどん行ってこい。
Okay. In the end, he found himself comfortable enough in the kitchen to crack a smile and enjoy the process. After tenacious effort, we began to pack all of the food into lunch boxes. I was just thinking I should get a lunchbox, even though I work from home. It's nice to have like a little bento box. Of course, we included the meal we cooked together in the batch.
実際自分でやってみて改めて実感したぜ。やっぱうまい飯は手間がかかってるんだな。適当な飯ならあん時に満足できなかったかもしれない。じじいに改めて感謝だな。
It seems I accomplished opening his eyes to how meticulous and laborious it could be. By the end, though, he sounded exhausted. I can't help but notice something at the end of his statement that catches my attention. Huh? Grandpa? What do you talk about? What you talk about, Ignis?
ああ、そういやお前には俺とジジイが会った時のことまだ話してなかったな。
Oh, that's from Ignis.
まあいいか。ここでごまかすのはお前への不義理ってもんだな。
That's for me. Ignis cleared his throat and began to open up. He recounted the first time he visited Enchant. I was there. Compared to some of the other non-humans at Enchant, I was a newer regular. Unlike Canis and the others who've been going for 10 or 15 years? I had only been around for maybe 5, a bit before the GPM came into the picture. I can't tell you exactly which year it was. But at the time, I was already famous for being the top fighter in Bestia. Every small fry in the land wanted to be king of the hill, but one after the other, I sent them packing with tails between their legs. I fought and fought and fought some more. It was a way of life for me. I never went a day without seeing blood. That day started out like any other, but it wasn't, anyway. I had finished a particularly tough fight when I caught the scent of the spilt blood, which was left by my scared opponents. A bizarre craving began to run rampant within me, festering inside. That's right, the combat instinct. Our killer instinct. The thing I mentioned yesterday. Let me tell you, it hurts. My vision went red and I began to crave prey without thinking about it. No matter what I tried, it wouldn't stop. After wondering about it for a while, it took all of my willpower. I wandered in search of a secluded place as I struggled to stay myself. In the end, I found something. A strange board standing in a field of ice. Yeah, it was a gate to Enchant. But since wormholes aren't really a thing that we use in Bestia, I wasn't sure what to make of it at first. I was so desperate to be rid of the craving, I punched the door with all my might. Then, the door suddenly opened. I came to a place without snow or blizzards, somewhere completely different from Bestia.
お、なんだ若造。お前さんも異世界からの客か?
Suwon happened to be standing there. He appeared out of nowhere with a rabid look in his eyes, like he was plucked from battle, even when looking at me.
随分参ってんな。まあ、客なら歓迎してやるよ。とっとと店内に入れ。
おい、てめえ、何を勝手に。
ははは、威勢がいいじゃねえか。まあそんならすぐ元気になんだろう。
Without fear or hesitation, he dragged me effortlessly into the cafe. Then he set a fresh plate of food in front of me, seemingly out of thin air.
これでも食って落ち着け。イラついてる時にはうまい飯を食うのが一番だ。
I wonder what he had for his first meal. Seems like it would have been curry. I don't know. Or a hamburger. Ah.
ああ。お前も天使と似たような感じで飯を知らねえ人外か。
The kind old man explained to me what eating was and how to do so. He encouraged me the whole way. Being on the brink of madness, though, made it tough to appreciate in the moment. Dots. I couldn't help take in the savory smell coming from the food, so I did what he said and dug in. Then, right, I know that was good. It hit me as clear as a smack to the face. My senses overloaded. A tingly feeling took over my tongue, complemented by a pleasant texture. All of the rage within me instantly began to subside. Just from one bite, I felt like myself again. To me, it seemed I was so in awe from how flavorful the meal was that it calmed my beastly impulses. So I made it a point to continue coming here out of appreciation for the old man. That's all. Cooking, y'all. What would we do without it? I see. That explains where you got that appetite. It was such a lovely antidote. Huh? What do you mean? Oh, so you were talking about yourself. That's all right. I can see why it would be difficult to bring up. Well, the past is your past. Wouldn't it be weird to be afraid of something in the past? Not really, but I don't know what I'm saying, but this is my in-game character. I don't agree with this. Besides, speaking for myself, I feel lucky to have heard your story. Not that I think it happened to you again. If and only if you were to succumb to a similar state, all I would need to do is feed you a good meal and you'd be fine, right? That's from Ignis. Oops. Was my response insensitive? An awkward silence hovered until... Aww. In a soft, intimate voice, he responded with a smile and shook my head. That's for me. For a couple seconds, I was stunned. Not so much from what he said, but from the warmth in his smile, which he somehow transferred into my chest. Nonetheless, it was still awkward. I'm no idiot, I stammered like a scared child. Afterwards, we packed the assembled lunch boxes inside a large duffel bag. Maybe we might have gone overboard. It was possible that I had made too much, especially since they were tiered lunchboxes. But I trusted Ignis to eat it all regardless. By the time we completed wrapping the lunchboxes, Jomi arrived from Beastia once more at the perfect time. I decided to see the two off, waving to them at the gate on their way to Beastia, but just as Ignis placed his hand on the doorknob, Jomi let out a sudden sharp gasp. He hastily tapped all over his body, specifically on the outside of pockets, in search of something. That last minute item, you always forgetting something.
忘れ物だ。ホールを見つけたら落としてこいって博士さんから渡された発信機とかいう変な鉄の塊っす。ってなわけで、俺はあっちのホールから追いかけるんで、先行っててくださいっす。
Without bothering to wait for Ignis's response, Jomi sprinted out. Is it that far? Yeah, he's tripping. Ignis gave it a second go and put his hand on the doorknob. Right. Watch out for yourself too, Ignis. Good luck out there. Ignis curled his lips into a smile that was softer than usual. Then he opened the gate, returning to the freezing tundra that was his home. A few days later, all right, here's today's lunch special. For the salad, I've prepared a special dressing, which I've placed here. Huh? Is something wrong, monsieur? Is there something in there you don't like? It must be the amount of food. Oh, I'm cooking with Ignis in mind and heart. Eee. Huh? I glanced around, seeing the array of dishes I had plated in full confidence. Soon I realized that it was a monstrous amount, an almost intimidating array. Oopsies. I mistakenly kept Ignis's appetite in mind. Karya probably wanted to eat. He's just over here being a teenage boy. He ain't tripping off me. Was I really spacing out? Sorry guys, you don't have to eat all of it. That's my Canis, my husband from another chapter. That makes me feel a lot better. Lunch went on without issue, save for my careless over-preparation. The regulars began discussing Bestia over their dessert, coffee, and juices. I had informed Monsieur and the others about Ignis's mission with the Minotaurs.
しかしイグニスがここまでの長期間アンシャンテンにいないというのは初めてではないでしょうか。
そうだな。今までは長くても2日おきには戻ってきていたよ。
That's true.
我らがマスターも一番食べさせがいのある狼くんの不在に
Nope, I'm thinking about you all. Yous all. Well, of course I am. Isn't it normal to be concerned about a long-time guest?
それじゃあそういうことにしておこうか。
I wondered what he was implying.
そんなにそわそわしなくてもそのうちあっさり戻ってくるさ。アルムムの襲撃も今のところは頻度としては極小。対応もうちの手勢で賄えてるし。
いざ何かしらの危機があれば我らもためらわず手伝うが現状はそれもないようだしな。
True. Ignis will be fine. Ignis was a skilled fighter, one who was sternly against bloodshed. So not only was I sure he would return, I hoped he would do so unscathed. It's just... that's from me. The cuts of meat I purchased for Ignis will go bad if he doesn't return soon. Like Monsieur said, that we were aware of how sorely his presence was missed at Enchant was unsettling. Every minute spent inside of the cafe without him around me amplified a dull ache within me. Oh, y'all, I know exactly how she feels. Oh. Later that night, I lay bundled in my bed, unable to shake the discomfort. Some more dots. Several more dots. I awoke to the sound of a timid squeak. What's the matter, Kurobo? Kurobo, who had been snuggling close to me, cried out in the night. It seemed odd for him to wake up this late. He usually slept throughout the night. I watched him patiently, hoping to understand what he was trying to convey. Oh, he said the word. It's all, y'all. It's like the baby saying its first word, and how dare it be Ignis and not me? But all right, I'll take it. Ah, that's right. You must miss Ignis quite a bit too, huh, Kurobo? I whispered to him softly, petting his fur with gentle strokes as he cooed. Me too, Kurobo. We had that in common. I guess I miss Ignis more than I thought I would. I chuckled at the thought. Eventually, since I was wide awake, I changed into a new set of clothes. I held Kurobo in my arms, quietly making my way down to the cafe, trying carefully not to wake Canis nor Tu. While down there, I stared blankly at the gate where I last saw Ignis before he left for Bestia. Why do I always get that word messed up, y'all? I don't know what the heck it is with that word. Each time. So of course I couldn't dare to enter on account of my recent traumatic experience. Nearly being sucked in will do that. I could do nothing more than look. I held Kuroro gently in my arms, raising him up so that he could get a better view of the room. Kuroro, I know you're lonely, but be a good boy and wait just a bit longer, okay? As soon as he's done with his mission, Ignis will be right back here with a big smile on his face. I had to break character, but okay. Ignis will be here with his big old smile, y'all. It seemed as though Kuroro understood as he let out an adorable cry as if he had regained his spirits. Okay then, let's go back to bed. We don't want to get up too late. I turned my back to the gate room and made my way back upstairs. Just then, I heard a door burst open behind me. Is it Ignis? It's Ignis, ain't it? Before I could react, someone covered my mouth and eyes. From there, my body was forcefully dragged backwards. This can't be. Oh my gosh. Well, went from a happy moment or assumed happy moment to tragic. I'm gonna hold on to hope though. That's an exclamation point. I wriggled in protest, but the assailant locked their arms around me tightly. I couldn't budge. Before I could react, I was flung into the open gate. Dots and more dots. This better not be the end. I would be so heated if this is the end. Okay. Alright, don't you dare.
このような時間帯に申し訳ありません、カヌス。
構わぬが、本当に店から物音がしたのか？
はい。厳密には聴覚だけではなく、店内の急激な気温低下も感知したもので、例えるならば、そう、まるで店の中へ突然、吹雪が入り込んできたような。
気温の低下？吹雪？カリアがいないというのにか。
That's from Canis.
まさか、ゲートでまた何か。マスター。
Back to me. Some more dots. Several more dots. It's freezing. I was sprawled on the icy ground, unable to move my body. I had no clue how I was cast into this Arctic world, let alone how I managed to survive the nap. My body, which was in no way dressed for snow, was on the verge of frostbite. A punishing chill caused my body to shiver violently as if my lungs flooded with ice. I glanced at the tips of my fingers, noticing how they were turning blue, how they were quickly losing sensitivity. That's from me, because I'm cold, y'all. I'm cold. And although he had to be fully aware that his actions were mostly futile, Kuroro's here with me, y'all. Kuroro, who was flung here with me, desperately kept headbutting me to keep me from losing consciousness. I'm glad. Kuroro, you're okay. Oh dear. I could scarcely open my mouth without agonizing from the harsh chill. It seemed we were taken by a mysterious shadow, which vanished when I awoke. Maybe the gates nearby, or so I hoped. Wherever we were, I knew we were far from home. Then, for you, Kuroro, I have to take you. Somewhere safe. Oh, I think I remember as the rabbit girl. Dots from the question mark. I guess we don't know her name. Well, I know I forgot. So. Oh, my Carrero. Dots from the question mark figure.
何もしない。平気。任せて。恩を返さないと。
Back to Ignis' point of view. Dots from Ignis. I walked and walked, looking for one of the Minotaur strongholds Jomi found near the border. I arrived before our meeting time, so I poked my head in, explored a bit. The place's proximity to the border meant it was smaller than some of the other ones. But to the Minotaurs, the stronghold was enough of a prize of their victory, a monument to their brutalism. It's vile, but that's why it's unthinkable that they would simply take off. Is it just me or hold on. Now I got all the voices on high, right? Not low, but on high. It just seems like I barely hear their voices. All right. In which case, I heard a little bit louder that time. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear the characters' voices now, because I like to hear each one of them too. Dots from me. How was I supposed to negotiate with them if they were nowhere to be found? Pointless. Even if I were to do so, I can't throw my weight around with beasts too intimidated to deny me if I question them. In which case, I hate to say it, I need that stupid tiger. Maybe he's being chased by some beast again. Or he's stuck in a wormhole. We know this guy, taking wormholes and stuff. I was starting to get a bad feeling, but no matter where I went, he always seemed to find me with important info. Instead of waiting for him here and wasting even more time, maybe I should take action. Something rumbled beneath my feet. It wasn't that the frozen water shook, but more like someone was knocking on the ice right below me. What could it be? I peeked down below. Oh, heck yeah, I'm gonna be saved, y'all. Heck yeah. Beneath the ice floor, I could make out a slight familiar cry. Back to me, y'all. That's... I slowly came to, feeling the warmth gradually returning to my extremities. Given the environment, the piercing cold was inescapable. At the very least, I could breathe without pain, and I no longer shivered. I'm alive. I opened my eyes only to realize I was inside of an igloo. Am I on the inside of a beast stronghold? I sit up and I see that someone had tucked me into a thick blanket. Is this beast fur? It seems that my survival against the unforgiving cold was all thanks to this blanket. I wonder who gave me this. Now then, where was I anyway? Half scared, I glanced around the igloo's interior. Then I eyed the exit. Oh yeah, this isn't the same person. It's a fox clan. The other one was a rabbit. So that's from this person? Animal? I make eye contact with a small young boy who was unlike other beast children. He didn't resemble the bunnies. Instead, he had a pair of fuzzy ears and a wispy tail like a fox. More dots from this young boy fox. Although he was watching me closely, which I took to mean he stood guard, he showed reluctance to approach me. More dots from them. Were you the one that saved me? Oh, okay, thanks. You saved my life. He nodded plainly, and although he was for the most part expressionless, I detected no hostility from him. Dots from lesser beasts. Then other beasts of adult age entered. They poked their heads through the entrance. They acted cautiously, half out of concern for me and half for themselves. Oh, what about Corello? I fully came to and raised my voice. Someone came rushing inside from outside the igloo, shoving the beasts out of his way. It's Ignis, isn't it? Yay! I knew it. What are you doing here? Hold on. I talked to his voice, y'all.
なんでお前がここに
Ignis! Corello! The fire wolf, the man I wanted to see, came rushing in. In his hand, he held Corello. According to Corello, this hideout was situated near one of the Minotaur strongholds that Ignis was after. Once I had been taken into this hideout, Corello searched for Ignis, swimming through the sea to find him. Ignis noticed Corello underneath the ice floor and was guided here. In turn, I told Ignis about how I was tossed into the gate to Bestia. After I finished my story, Ignis sat disheartened.
前に起きたゲートの不具合や天崎島の時とは別みてえだな。明らかに人為的なもんだ。
Yes, I hadn't even entered the gate room in the first place. I think someone entered unshot through the gate and dragged me here. I figured that the only person capable of taking me to Beastia had to be a beast from here.
店にいた箱入りやカヌスが敵意に気づかなかったとなると、かなりの手だれか。そいつの姿や声は。
No, they covered my eyes and mouth. They didn't say a word either. I was assaulted from behind too. That doesn't sound right. I don't think even Kororo, who was in my arms, saw them.
これまでの経緯を考えるに、アルムの可能性が一番高いだろうな。
So I could have just been killed like that. Nobody would have even knew.
連中のあの図体じゃ、アンシャンテのゲートはくぐれねえな。
You're right. They'd probably get stuck inside the door. Excuse me. Just get stuck in the door. It was a comical but surreal thought. I pulled up the covers as they slid down my shoulders. I took a deep breath, happy to be liberated from the hellish cold. I could finally stretch my fingers as they warmed. Oh, by the way, any idea why the beasts decided to save me? The beasts whose custody I was in didn't seem like much a warring tribe. I wondered if I threatened them. As I contemplated the thought, the boy near the entrance spoke up at last.
匂い
Huh?
匂いがついてた。そこのイグニスの。
Oh, so that's why I was saved. Because they said they had to return the favor, so I guess that was it. Ignis is sent? Is that why he saved me? What did it all mean?
なんつうか。俺はこっちで喧嘩の他にも、地元やこいつらみたいな魔獣の用心棒みたいなのをしててな。
Oh, that's why you kept traveling back and forth to Beastia.
つっても、俺が勝手に独善的にやってることだ。接触したところでビビらせるだけだし、直接会話をすることはほとんどねえんだけど。
うん。最初は怖かったよ。あなたのこと。
That's from Ignis.
でも今は違う。
Ignis's eyes lit up at the boy's fragmented yet sincere remark.
噂で聞いた。あなたが不殺の魔獣で、そこのパークスを助けるためにアルムムと戦ったって。それを聞いて自分が恥ずかしくなった。 僕たちだって昔あなたにアルムムに全員狩られそうなところを助けてもらったのに、一方的に怖がってそれからも守ってもらってたのにお礼も言わなかった。だから少しでもその償いと恩返しができればってその子を助けたんだ。
Oh, that's from Ignis while you're over here trying to look all mean, but you know you happy. After hearing the boy's story, Ignis marched over to him. With his big rugged hands, he patted the boy's head. Oh, that's from the little boy fox.
恩だの償いだの、ガキが細けえことを気にすんな。 ありがとよ。お前が現れず、こいつがあのまま死んでたら。俺は死んでも死にきれねえほど後悔してた。
Oh, more dots from the boy fox. The boy placed his hand on the area where Ignis had just patted him. Why you gotta say frail? So, a weak demon beast boy who looks much like a fox who was saved previously by Ignis. He doesn't talk much, but he has a kind heart.
役に立てたならよかった。
He smiled joyfully. Then, the snowfall began to lighten up, and I exited the igloo with Ignis, noticing someone running to us. Is it Dromi? I'm just guessing at this chapter, y'all. But who else could it really be? I mean, it could have been my lovely men from the cafe, but I doubted it. My bad, Dromi. I'm talking all throughout these voices here.
兄貴、こんなとこにいたんすね。お待たせしてすみませんす。
本当に遅えよ。
いやー途中で吹雪にあってついうっかり迷子にってあれなんで店主さんがここにそれにコロロまで
Kuroro frowned as soon as Jomi approached us. Oh, it's a bit of a long story and a little complicated.
はあ、そりゃ災難っすね。アンシャンテの中にさえいれば安全だと思ってたっすのに。てか、店主さんに起きたこと考えると、アンシャンテのゲートの位置、その犯人の魔術。
Oh, that's true.
くそ、新しい問題か。だが何をするにも今日はもう遅いし。仕方ねえ。俺の地元で一泊すっか。
Village? You mean wherever you come from is close to this settlement?
ああ、それにここに泊まったらまた前みてえに周りを俺の騒動に巻き込む可能性もあるし。
Well, let's roll out.
本当はゲートに戻るのが一番なんすけど、ここからじゃ微妙に遠いっすからね。天候も不安定っす。
Yes, I understand. We are in your debt for the night. Afterwards, I give the young beast boy my thanks for saving me, and I bid the others goodbye. We set out into the icy world to head toward Ignis's hometown. I can only imagine what's gonna happen over there, y'all. I wrapped myself in the woolly blanket which the boy had given to me. It was only deterrent against the unruly Beastian winds, and I tagged close behind Ignis. From time to time, Ignis and Jomi would spot my footing, and we took breaks here and there to rest. We made our way through a narrow, winding path, climbing through glacial mountains and ice blocks. The layers of snow and ice darkened. This mysterious place seemed out of reach for explorers. Wow. Unlike the rest of what I'd seen here, settlements comprised of snow and ice. Throughout the interior and exterior of the settlement, everywhere I looked, I saw fire, a spectacle I had never laid eyes on. I had the feeling that this place was special. Kurobo's home. This is...
俺の地元ヴィニトルの縄張りだ。
Wow. So, Venator territory, Ignis's homeland in a remote region of Bestia. Unlike the territory of other demon beasts, it has the characteristic of being lit with flames.
ああ、ちなみに俺も普段はここに世話になってるっす。
So I wonder where Jomi's from. I wonder if we could see his hometown too. Hopefully. As we chatted at the entrance,
おお、イグニスか。こんな夜更けに襲撃かと思わず身構えたぞ。
it was an older person, possibly in his 50s. He strangely resembled Ignis, but the fire covering his body was noticeably weaker. He appeared to be a fellow firewolf.
急に悪いな、おじき。空いてる寝床があれば一つ貸してくれねえか。
それはもちろん構わんが。
The man Ignis addressed as his uncle eyed me with Kuroro nestled in my arms. Oh, good evening. Ignis has been treating me kindly.
ああ、どうもご丁寧に。少なくとも。
Well, you'd be surprised about humans. I may not look violent, but yeah, I'll just leave it like that.
お嬢さん、イグニスとはどんな関係で？
I wasn't sure of how to respond. What should I say? Under normal circumstances, I would say that he's a regular at my cafe, and that would be the end of it. But I don't think Ignis has told anyone about Enchant, has he? So I can make up a story, let Ignis respond. Let's see. Make up a story. Ignis seems like the type of person that just like to respond himself. So let him respond. It wouldn't be fair for me to break a secret Ignis may have been keeping. So dots for me? Instead, I decided to send an SOS signal to Ignis with my eyes. I think that he got the clue, but...
なんだ。
So I should have made up a story. That's what you're saying.
あれだよ、
あれじゃあわからんのだが。
うまく説明できねえんだよ。ちょっとした知り合いっつうか。
なるほど。若い娘さんなので、もしやとは思ったが、どうやら違うようだな。
とにかく一晩だけ世話になるぜ。
イグニスの知人ということであれば、寝床の一つや二つ喜んで貸そう。代わりと言ってはなんだが、イグニス、もう少しこっちに戻ってくる頻度を増やせんか。
ああ、それは。
こんな秘境にわざわざ来る魔獣はおらんだろうが、過去のこともある。いざという時にお前がいないとなると。
わかった。善処するよ。
With that, the man arranged for a pair of igloos for us to use as lodging for the night. But Something peculiar caught my attention. I surveyed the compound as we were escorted. Even considering that it was past midnight, the firewolf population here was dramatically lower than I'd expect of a place this big. If I had to guess, I would say I saw no more than 20 firewolves at most, but they all had one thing in common. That they're not speaking, because they sure see some dots. I feel like everybody's shocked to see you, Ignis.
俺はめったにこっちに戻ってこねえからな。ここにいるのが単に物珍しいんだろ。それにヴィニトルはいろいろあって基本そんな好戦的な魔獣じゃねえんだ。
I would have thought the opposite.
だから喧嘩っ早いゆえに最強の魔獣だのを名乗ってる俺には近づきづれえんだろうな。
Wait, did I read that wrong? Yeah, it said firewolves aren't naturally confrontational. That's crazy. He mentioned that the only person he could be himself around was the man guiding us. He trusted the man whom he referred to as his uncle. I never knew he had a guardian. Ignis told all of this to me casually, a conversational aside as we walked. A conversational aside. I'm just gonna read it. Yeah, I'm just here to read. That's for me. But for me, it began to stir some complex feelings inside of me.
よいしょっと。これだけの毛皮があれば店主さんもあったかいっすかね。
Indeed, those should be more than enough. Thanks for bringing them over to me, Jomi.
お礼は無用っす。店主さんにはいつも美味しいアイスとコーヒーをもらってるんで。ところで、
I don't have any with me. Like, does it look like I could bring ice cream and dessert with me right now? Come on. Right. Kuroa is like, get it together.
床にいるコロロがっすね。完全に俺を標的と定めてじわじわ近づいてきてんすけど。できれば噛まないように店主さんから言ってもらえると助かるっす。
Just when I take my eyes off you. Bad boy, Kuroro. Kuroro backed away slightly discouraged, but thankfully it was enough to deter him. He retreated playfully, sparing Jomi from his vicious crawl.
助かったっす。
I'm so sorry about Kuroro. Oh, by the way, which igloo is Ignis staying at? Shortly after I was escorted to my igloo, he hurried outside. Was he already asleep?
兄貴なら縄張りの外で見張りっすね。
Standing watch?
そうっす。他の凶暴な魔獣がここを嗅ぎつけてないか確認してるんす。多分さっきここへ来るのに通った道にいるんじゃないですかね。
I see.
じゃあ俺は自分の寝床に戻るっす。二つ隣の雪道にいるんでなんかあれば呼んでくださいっす。
Dots for me. Some more dots. Okay. So, oh, I didn't save it. Oh, darn. I was going to go back, but it's okay. Onward we go. I'll just restart the chapters anyways. Okay. I was going to say, I wonder what it was if I chose to make up my own mind. Oh, darn. Well, I'll let you guys know because after I complete this chapter, I'm surely going to go back. You can go to sleep here if you're so sleepy, Kuroro. Oh, I love my little Kuroro. I'm going outside for a little bit. I wrapped a blanket around myself and ambled onto the snowy road. And just really quick, I did go back right in that silent part. So apparently I chose to use Kororo as an excuse for how me and Ignis basically met. So that was it. It was cute. And it looked like the uncle really liked that story. And he was all into Kororo. So it was just super cute, y'all. Midway, I make contact with an ice block and gasp at its coldness. That's from Ignis. I spot the werewolf whose flames stuck out like a sore thumb in the sea of white. He wasn't doing much of anything. He stood in an upright position, gazing up at the evening sky absent-mindedly. Without saying a word, I approached him. I stood beside Ignis as if to mimic him. I look up at the sky. Snowflakes continued to float down from the sky. They were like translucent snow crystals, illuminating in the moonlight like jewels. Bestia's sky is beautiful at this time of night.
こんな血生臭い世界が綺麗な。んなこと言うやつ初めて見たぜ。こんなとこに来ていいのかよ。ようやく落ち着ける場所につけたってのに。明日は起きてすぐゲートへ戻るんだから、早めに寝ろよな。
Yes, of course. I'll head right back, but I just wanted to check up on you. Shouldn't you sleep too, Ignis?
いわゆる寝ずの番ってやつだな。心配しなくても、一鉄や二鉄程度は魔獣にとっちゃ大した影響ねえよ。
I see. That's good, I think. Achoo! In my case, not so much. The scattered glaciers which dotted the range intensified the chill of winds blowing through
なん
them.
こっちゃねえ。つっても、ここじゃあな。
He trails off, taking a minute to look at our surroundings. I wasn't sure how much longer I could
だ
handle.
が何もねえか。知らねえ。だったらこれが一番マシか。
Oh, I can already tell it's gonna be cute. Oh. Without asking for consent, because that's just the kind of guy Ignis is, although I guess you can't, don't put it to today's times and cancel culture and all that. But
ほらよ。こんなら寒くねえだろ。
he was forceful, not so much aggressive as it was confident as he pulled me into him. My body was strangely, excuse me, I'm going off my own thoughts now. All right, so my body was being gently embraced by
も
Ignis.
し暑かったら言えよ。一応問題ない程度にしてるけどよ。
As soon as I made contact with his body, thank you. I was enveloped in warmth in more ways than one. That's from Ignis. He stared longingly at my face for a few moments.
あの時、俺を探しに来たコロロの必死な様子を見て、お前が一人でこのベスティアにいるって思って、心臓が凍りついた。
He spoke from his heart, softly, candidly.
どこぞの魔獣に殺されちまったんじゃねえかって。そんな光景を想像するだけで、なりふり構わず吠えそうになっちまった。
That's from me.
お前、ちゃんとここにいんだな。この残酷な世界に食われねえで、俺の隣でちゃんと生きてんだよな。
Ignis, as if to reaffirm his notions, pulls me closer into him. I noticed his arms trembled against me. Yes, I'm alive. Thanks to the young fox boy. No, thanks to your mercy and commitment to peace. To relieve him of his anxieties, this time I nestle my body into his.
俺の終わりのねえ喧嘩がお前の命をつなげたってならまあ上々だよな。少なくとも無意味にはならねえ。
A lifetime of fighting. I let his sentiments sink in for a moment as I pressed in closer. My sentiments exactly. Hey, why are there so few fire wolves who live in this stronghold?
ほとんどが殺されたからだな、昔。
Well, that's not something I like to hear.
今じゃまともに戦える男は俺ぐらいしか残ってねえ。だからベスティアへ戻ってきた時にはこうやって見張りの番を引き受けてんだ。
That's for me. That was my first inclination, and I anticipated his confirmation. Hearing it come out of his mouth, I couldn't shake the grief welling in my chest. Still, I want to get to know Ignis more. I want to know why he expressed so much contempt for this world, for his home, from time to time. So I composed myself. I wasn't prying too much.
話すのは構わねえさ。ただ辛くなったら言えよ。途中でもやめっから。
Okay. Just as I was about to ask, Ignis seemingly read my expression. He began to open up, unraveling his tragic history and the reasons which motivated him to become the greatest fighter Bestia had ever seen. My people, the Firewolves, began as a small, tight-knit tribe that did their best to resist being wiped out a long time ago. The truth is, we've always been persecuted. Even since Bestia's ancient times, people set out to exterminate the Firewolves. It became something of pastime, a baseless, bizarre tradition that sadly has survived through generations. We've experienced torment, oppression, and suffering in ways that went beyond murder. Also, a tribe's stronghold is always under threat of raiding tribes that want to come and sack it. That happened when I was a kid. Flames spread, melting our stronghold, red-stained snow, a scarlet of another name. The corpses of my kin, faces I saw alive and well moments ago, strewn on the ground. Among them were the women and small children incapable of defending themselves. Those lifeless bodies. Dang, this is heavy. Were trampled, kicked around. The raiders did nothing but laugh. They chased any surviving firewolves as if they were playing a game of tag, murdering their targets for sport. On that day, I saw the face of evil. I remember it so clearly. Dots, exclamation mark. All I could do was howl in rage. A scorching rage which consumed me. Before I knew it, I lashed back at them. That part of the story is kind of fuzzy. When I came to, the raiders vanished from our stronghold. That's right. According to the firewolves who managed to hide during the raid, apparently I went on a rampage and thrashed at the invaders until they were driven away. That was when it was discovered that I was one of the strongest firewolves in our history, but that didn't matter a bit, because during my rampage, the surviving firewolves, folks I spent time with every day of my life, people I called my friends, were murdered. That scared little kid, I was fending off a bunch of raiders, and he came running towards me. But in my bloodlust, my manic state, I couldn't save him. In fact, I couldn't remember a thing. That's why Oh, my bad. This is him speaking now. Monologue. Okay. So this is Ignis speaking. I'm over here overcrowding his little speech and stuff. I can't replay it, y'all, but there you go. Read it and weep, because I'm weeping. The same went for Jomi. Sure, he might prance like an idiot all the time, but his entire family was murdered too. Oh. Dang. Now I feel bad. I just thought he was a little goofy little guy. So in fact, his situation is probably far more tragic than mine since he's the last of his species. Firewolves and werecats lived closely for years, and we both suffered the same fate of persecution. We were neighbors. That's how he was taken in by the Firewolf tribe. Well, at the end of the day, this only made life tougher for him, having to contend with raid after raid. His resilience is the sole reason that he's alive today. That's for me. After gazing at the field, Ignis stared at the vast field of ice upon which a massacre could be happening, just as it had so many times before. He continued with a whimper in his voice. I listened without saying a word as Ignis's voice cracked. Perhaps this was the first time he had ever opened up about his trauma. Each word felt cumbersome and awkward. He looked insecure about whether or not he could accurately convey the storm that raged inside of him. That's for me. As a response, I mustered a single nod of affirmation. Seeing this, he finally... At last, he revealed what he fights for in this world. That's for me. So Ignis kept fighting. Despite the persecution, despite being an outcast, he wanted to usher in a new world, one without killing or bloodshed. But judging by the condition of the Minotaurs, that's from Ignis. Instead of answering verbally, I give a slight nod for an answer. I let him know I'm listening, that I am catching every single word. That's from Ignis.
その元凶になったやつがいたとしたなら、俺はそいつを一生恨む。
Ignis unleashed his aimless anger out towards the desolate tundra. After saying everything he needed to say, Ignis quietly took a breath and exhaled.
聞いてくれてありがとうよ。俺はずっと誰かにこの本心を打ち明けたかったのかもしれない。
Was it really okay to tell me? I'm just a human who knows nothing about Bestia.
いや、お前だからこそ話したいと思った。
That's for me. Why is that?
どうしてって、それお前。
His face. He's like, you don't know? I like you, girl. That's what he want to say.
俺はそのこうして話を聞いてくれるお前のことが。
Without missing a beat, his stomach began to growl. That's from both of us. We looked at each other and immediately we couldn't contain our laughter. Oh, come on. Did you time that? Is this normal?
仕方ねえだろ。どんな気分の時だって腹が減る時は減るんだからよ。
Excuses aside, Ignis could hardly contain his laughter as well. After his sorrowful story came the kind of typical exchange we would have had at Enchant. Being flung into this place might have spelled total disaster, at least at first, but... So wait, the kind of typical exchange we would have... Yeah, I just added an extra word, but it makes sense. I was beginning to think that as long as I remind myself that I'm with Ignis, as long as we could laugh together, I would find peace through the chaos. Heck yeah. In the end, we spent a few more minutes getting all of our laughs out. But Ignis, why in the world is your stomach growing so loud? Growling so loud. You were fine before I got here.
お前が近づいたら急になんか食い物とか持ってんのか?
Huh? Why would I? I was dragged here in the middle of the night. Of course I don't. He just thought he would ask anyway. I feel you. Hopefully it's not my human blood you're attracted to. Like, all right, you can go away now. Something tasty? Maybe I smell like food because I cooked before I came.
なるほどな。ああ、そういや、お前からもらった弁当うまかったぜ。ありがとうよ。
Happy to hear it. I made quite a bit of food. Were you able to eat it all?
まあ、お前の作った飯だし、当然食い切れただけどよ。
That's for me.
いや、なんつうか。初日に案の定大量の魔獣どもに襲われてよ。その後、すげえ腹が減った。
That's all around. Wait a minute. Don't tell me you ate it all. Seriously? All in one day?
ちゃんと味わって食ったぞ。
That's fine and all, but his appetite was totally insatiable. Of course. Can't just have a sweet moment. It can't end sweetly. That's from both of us. As the footsteps drawing closer echoed, we broke our embrace immediately.
なんだよ、ドロミ。てめえ寝たんじゃねえのか?
寝てたところを他のビニトルたちに叩き起こされたんす。それより兄貴、すぐに縄張りに戻ってきてください。 こことは別の縄張り近くにアルムムが現れたらしいっす。
Of course. Minotaurs? With Jomi's report, we rushed back to the stronghold.
こっちだ、イグニス。
Guided by the firewolf, Ignis and I ran beneath the frigid sky. As long as there are Minotaurs around, separating from Ignis would be dangerous. I could be taken hostage, like last time. For those reasons, it was best for me to accompany him to wherever the Minotaurs may be hiding. Somewhere in the field of the ice, south of the settlement. There they were. That's from Ignis. We came to a mutual decision among us that instead of engaging with them immediately, we would surveil them behind the ice blocks. It didn't seem as though they were searching necessarily for the firewolf stronghold, the reason being that's from the beasts. One by one, the group of Minotaurs would jump into a dark, warping hole. In other words, a wormhole.
大当たりだ。まさか俺の地元の近くにホールがあるとはよ。
Do you think that wormhole is connected to the human world?
だろうな。向こうにはカヌスと箱入りがいるだろうし、でけえ被害は出ねえだろうな。
You're gonna stop making fun of my number 2 like that, calling him a cage bird. Ignis said this under his breath right before he lightly tapped my shoulder. He leapt from out behind the ice block, revealing himself to the Minotaurs. Dots from me, dots from the uncle. I hid in the shadows, and his uncle and I did our best to contain our breathing. Minotaurs upset. The Minotaurs, noticing Ignis's appearance, all turned to face him simultaneously. Their eyes were, as expected, the same as those we saw at the GPM in downtown.
正気を失ってやがるな。ここに来るまでにどんだけ暴れてきやがったんだ。けどな、とりあえずはこれ以上はホールを使わせねえよ。梅雨払いといくか。
He flashed a confident smile and ignited his flames, sprinting towards the Minotaurs heading for the wormhole. The wolf howled, digging his firing fangs into his opponents relentlessly, just as he did before. Or maybe, better than that, Ignis easily subdued the Minotaurs, but... more of them? One of the Minotaurs cleaved into another that Ignis had knocked out. It shredded its fallen comrade as if to distract Ignis. Ignis is clearly distracted now. Ignis thankfully was unharmed, but he was overcome with surprise at the sight of this merciless act. The other Minotaurs followed suit, and they began breaking out into this mass violence. Just mass violence. Just crazy. Without any fear or hesitation against the fists and flames blocking their path, some attacked Ignis, some attacked their own kin, running into the flames head on. They battled Ignis without fear, knowing he could easily crush their bones. That's for me. There were no casualties, but I had to avert my eyes from the wave of violence. Thanks to Ignis's efficient subduing of the Minotaurs, I was spared from witnessing further bloodshed, but one remained. So just an odd Minotaur with some dots. There was a lone Minotaur watching the battlefield from afar. We only noticed him as the dust settled. The beast opened his mouth. Oh yeah, he's an odd one for sure. Ignis is surprised. Thick drops of vicious saliva dripped from his mouth, splashing onto the snowy ground. Viscous? I don't know. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be vicious or viscous. I'm gonna have to look that up. Hold on. Hold on. Because this story be trying to make you sound like Einstein, a Poindexter and shit. Excuse my language. So it's viscous, having a thick, sticky consistency between solid and liquid. So yeah, that's the word of the day, y'all. It's clear he isn't sane, but one thing was, we finally encountered a Minotaur that may be able to communicate with us. To grasp this one-time opportunity, Ignis lowered his fists. Instead, he threw out a question.
牛肉くんよ。てめえら一体何のつもりだ。人間界で俺を襲って何になる。ベスティアで俺をぶっ倒して死体を晒してもしねえ限り、俺からトップを奪った証明にはなんねえだろ。
違う。もう俺たちはトップなんてどうでもいい。
んだと。
Ignis was taken slightly aback. The Minotaur cackled in the distance as the icy air swirled around us.
俺たちの目的はただ一つ。どんな手を使っても、どんな場所を選んでも、てめえを殺すこと。
Oh, really?
魔獣として異常だから排除しなくちゃならね
え。That's from me. Ignis lowered his soldier. I keep thinking I'm thinking some other game. Ignis lowered his soldiers, letting the Minotaur's words sink in.
まさか不殺のことを言ってんのか。だとしたら今更すぎんだ。
In response to Ignis's confused response, the Minotaur bent over backwards, breaking into heavy, patronizing laughter.
偽善者。てめえが命を語るなどおかしい。
The beast grinned, continuing in his ridicule.
殺してるだろ。ビニトルの縄張りが襲われた時、襲ってきた魔獣を同族のビニトルもろとも全員な。
There was an unforeseen revelation, one even Ignis wasn't aware of. Dots all around. Ignis's jaw dropped, completely dumbfounded. The Minotaur continued.
正気を失い暴れたてめえはそれを覚えてねえだけ。わかるだろ、イグニス。本当はわかってんだろ。
Ignis don't know. Dots exclamation mark. In the face of the Minotaur's accusations, the color drained from Ignis's face.
ざっけんな。さっきからこっちが黙ってりゃ適当なホラばっか吹きやがって。俺が殺しただと。それも他のビニトルまで巻き込んで。けったらね。んな根拠のねえ妄言を誰が信じるってんだよ。
根拠ならここにあるぜ。確かめてみろよ。お前にとっては懐かしいだろう。こいつの匂いをな。
The Minotaur chuckled, throwing in an object toward Ignis. A ruined armlet. It differed in size, but it resembled the one Ignis wore on his arm. The moment he caught it, Ignis's eyes shot open, full of disbelief.
あの時に死んだあいつの手が
By that kid, could he mean his dear friend whom he had lost when he was a boy? Why would the Minotaur have it? But upon closer inspection, Ignis' surprise was for another reason entirely. His gaze was affixed, the dried blood on it.
あいつの残した腕輪の血痕に俺の匂いが混ざってた。
Oh, darn.
決まってんだろ。
No, it's a mistake. I don't believe it. No sooner after the Minotaur answered, Ignis grabbed his head, crying at the top of his lungs in sheer agony.
やめろ。敵はあっちの町を出すだろう。なんで俺たち
Oh my gosh. Oh. This is the worst, y'all. Mm.
イグニス、もうやめてくれ。一体どうしちゃったんだよ。僕たちのことがわからないのか。今の君はまるで
That's from the friend of Ignis.
その面思い出したみてえだな。
Ignis's body jerked in reaction to the Minotaur's whispered taunt. He howled out as if in utter denial to the accusation.
ちげえ今のは何かの間違いだ。俺は誰も殺してなんかいねえ。現に他のビニトルたちがそう言って。
じゃあもう一度聞いてみろよ。そこにいる当時のことを知るビニトルによ。
That's from me! Exclamation mark. He noticed my presence. Beyond that, someone stepped out and without objecting to the Minotaur's words, Uncle has dots too. He looked shaky, uncomfortable, and his hesitation was troubling, perhaps giving credence to the Minotaur's taunt. Ignis spoke to the silent man, his voice quivering with worry.
おい、おじき。何黙ってんだ。こんな時に冗談はやめろよ。俺はあの時、誰も殺さず魔獣を追い返した。ガキだった俺にそう教えたのはあんたらだろうが。
After desperately pleading with him to reject the Minotaur's claims, dots from the uncle.
すまない。
Hmm.
だがお前自身が一番分かっているだろう。よみがえった記憶が間違いではないと。
No, that's from Ignis. In other words,
そりゃじゃあ他のビニトルが俺を避け続けて本当の理由
ああ、当時の魔獣やビニトルのようにお前にいつ殺されるかとひたすらに恐怖しているからだ。
That's from Ignis. That's from me. Wait, please. I couldn't help but interject in confusion. Then why? Why is Ignis still accepted in the stronghold?
当時は危険すぎるイグニスを殺せという声が多く上がった。それを解き伏せ真実を隠すことを選んだのは他ならぬ私だ。
The man said so plaintively. But his tone was unkind to Ignis.
落ち着け皆の者。お前たちの意見はもっともだが冷静に考えるのだ。こたびの襲撃とイグニスの暴走で戦えるビニトルは彼以外すべて死に絶えた。残った彼を殺せばまた次に魔獣に襲われた時我々はどうなる。ビニトルが生き残り血を残していくためには危険を承知の上で彼を
They used him out of nothing but fear and for penance. The cruel designation delivered from his relative, no less, was a heavy blow. His hands fell limp, and from them slipped his friend's memento, his dying artifact, sinking into the plush snow. The Minotaur cackled at the grieving Ignis.
もう一つついでに教えてやるよ。そもそもよ、正気を失って暴れる魔獣なんざてめえ以外にはいねえんだよ。
今度は何の話だよ。
Ignis looked like he wanted to cover his ears, but the Minotaur went on without mercy.
魔獣はもともと自分勝手で残酷だからこそそれを当然のこととして狂わねえ。どいつも理性を保ってる。だがてめえは違う。戦い狂って暴れ殺す。理性を保って戦う俺たちよりもよっぽど厄介じゃねえか。
Normally, Ignis wouldn't hesitate to call the Minotaur out for his lies, but right now, Ignis,
おい、おじき。
he was powerless, and all he wanted was truth.
魔獣は戦い、闘争本能を刺激することで来る。ずっとあんたが俺に言い聞かせてきたその教えも。
ああ、私の嘘だ。少しでもお前が暴走しないよう自分を戒めさせるための。でなければお前を化け物扱いなどはすまい。
That's from Ignis.
ってことはなんだ。 俺が今まで信じていたもんは全部が全部丸ごと嘘っぱちだったってこと。
Ignis finally fell into complete silence, hanging his head downward.
これで分かっただろ。イグニス、てめえはな、ベスティアでただ一人の魔獣でもなんでもねえ化け物なんだよ。
I'm gonna try to remember that. Bestia. Not Bestia, but Bestia. I just don't like pronouncing things wrong, if I can help it.
だからこそ、お前は誰もかなわねえほど強えんだ。
Then the Minotaur turned his back to us without another word, as if his mission was accomplished. He left the dumbstruck Ignis behind, sneering in triumph. At the same time, because the active wormhole was unstable, its opening silently closed. As for the man who was revealed to have lied to Ignis for his whole life,
本当にすまなかった。
he apologized profusely, then headed back to the stronghold. Dots. We stayed behind. The confusion, the shock, it all lingered in the wintry air, in that wintry air, and the light of Ignis's truth. Ignis. I came out of hiding from behind the ice blocks and called upon him, but his gaze was pointed to the ground and he refused to answer. Then he told me to back away. The flames covering his body ignited as if to reject anyone from coming in.
やっと見つけました。
Oh, was that number 2? Something white, other than snow, came descending from the night sky. His wings were spotted with black. We heard his voice trembling in the cold, and we saw it belonged to... What are you doing here?
それはどちらかというと、こちらのセリフかと。
Two, who appeared before us, shivered profusely, just as he did the last time he visited Bestia.
あなたの姿が消えたので、もしやと思い、GPM のホールから捜索しに来たのです。
Oh, that's right. Sorry for worrying you. Are you okay in these conditions? Wait, of course not.
はい、ここまでたどり着くのに大規模な探知術式を連発しましたので、最低限の体力と耐性しか残っていません。
Every now and then he swiped the snow that fell upon his wings, and Two, unaware of what had just happened, called out to Ignis.
なのでイグニス、経緯は知りませんが、あなたが交流していて助かりました。今の私にはおそらく万が一戦闘行動に入った時に震える力がありませんから。イグニス、どうしました？何やらいつもより声色が。
Two, please let him be and don't pry too much for now.
わかりました。ではひとまずこのままゲートへと戻りますか？
Yes, we were planning to spend the night here, but if we do, Two might pass out. But first, I have to find Kororo. He's still inside the Firewolf
で
stronghold.
は私が迎えに行きましょう。縄張りとは先ほど上空から見えた炎の灯る場所に違いありませんか？
Yes, and if you can, could you tell Dromi that we are going home too? He nodded in affirmation and powered through his tiredness towards the firewolf stronghold. Dots from me, more dots from me. I stepped into the snow, walking toward the silent Ignis. Let's go home, Ignis, I muttered to him quietly. I know my face did something weird right there. That's for me. It was painful, but I understood why he refused to come along. There was so much he needed to process, but I just couldn't. I couldn't leave Ignis, who looked ready to collapse by himself, behind by himself. So I reached out to him. I took his trembling arm and put it under mine. I wouldn't let go until he nodded. I found my resolve holding this thought as I grasped him firmly against me. That's from Ignis. It seemed as though Ignis barely had the strength left for anything, much less to shake me off. It's understandable. Oh my gosh. I can already tell it's going to be number 3. Oh, we just back to Enchant. Ignis's point of view. Dots from me. More dots from me. What was it all for? My path, my entire life, any of my convictions, all of my beliefs were shattered and my vision darkened, growing dim under the sharp moonlight. Like an idiot, the emotions began to pile in my heart. I wanted nothing more than to scream. It took everything out of me to contain it. The thin, soft hand which hung desperately to me belonged to me, Renoni. I had no idea what to tell her. Dots from me. I couldn't look at Renoni directly, so when I shifted my gaze, I spotted coincidentally the blood splatter left from my skirmish with the Minotaurs. In that moment, the smell of blood paints my vision red. Then, dots from me. More dots. I couldn't understand what I had done. In this situation, I instinctively cover my mouth. What was that? Why did I react that way to the blood? My memories are fragmented. I don't know what I was thinking inside the red periphery. Only an odd sensation, one that ignited in my chest. It turned my heart into a burning star. Back to my point of view. Sometime afterward, Kuroho, who too went to retrieve, was returned to me. As we made our way back to the gate so that two won't pass out, Kuroho stuck his body out of my arms and probed curiously around the area. In particular, he was fixed on one location, unwilling to budge. What's the matter, Kuroho? Let's go home. That's from Kuroho. Kuroho knows. Kuroho really knows. Yep. I felt that was coming, y'all. I felt it was coming. So I feel like it's just a whole lie from the Minotaur that was letting him know about his past memories. How would he know? Was he there, specifically there at that time? Who knows? But thank you so much to you all for tuning in. Next is going to just be some Mafia 3 and Resident Evil Outbreak. Of course, some more Ignis as well. So Death Stranding, I have that coming chapters 11 through 15, even though yes, I know 15 is more like an epilogue, so it's not really a chapter, but chapters 11 through 15 will be released preceding the week of Death Stranding 2 release. So you'll see that a week before it comes out. So probably starting June 19 or so, I'll start dropping those. Chapter 10 will be released before this video drops out. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe on that as well. And again, I thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video with the little bell jingle turned on so you all stay tuned in, my wonderful people filled with greatness. And as always, much love, much peace, and catch you on the flip side.